In spring 2005, when the U.S. Congress passed a $82 billion emergency spending bill for military operations in Afghanistan and Iraq, a French daily Le Monde published an op-ed, arguing that poverty was a greater threat to the everyday lives of Afghans than terrorism. The piece reignited the guns versus butter debate about whether the U.S. should prioritize the stabilization of Afghanistan militarily, in terms of international security, or developmentally, in terms of human security and state building. In the first 3 years of the war in Afghanistan, the U.S. military pursued uncompromising destruction of the Taliban forces, responsible for harboring al-Qaeda terrorists, who carried out the 9/11 attacks on the American homeland. Although the U.S. troops quickly toppled the Taliban regime in Kabul, the group waged an effective insurgency that challenged the new Afghan government and the U.S.-led international military forces. Despite its ruthless tactics and blind indifference to human rights, the Taliban managed to seize control of large swaths of the Afghan territory, taking advantage of the population that became increasingly alienated by the enemy-centric counter-terrorism approach. In 2006, the U.S. Department of the Army published a new counterinsurgency concept that marked a notable shift away from the high-impact warfighting approach, toward the one that underscored the need to address the underlying social and economic drivers of an insurgency. Encouraged by a successful application of the new counterinsurgency concept in Iraq, the U.S. military in Afghanistan adopted a similar approach. Although the FM 3-24 counterinsurgency manual does not mention the concept of human security explicitly, it appropriates several human security-like ideas that found reflection in the U.S. military operations in Afghanistan. First, in their effort to win local populations' hearts and minds, the U.S. forces began exercising more restraint in the use of air power and large-scale assaults on population centers to minimize harm to civilians. Second, the provincial reconstruction teams established in 2002 to assess humanitarian needs and implement small-scale reconstruction projects also supported the new people-centered approach. Consisting of military officers, diplomats, and development assistance experts, the provincial reconstruction teams expanded in size, number, and purpose to include the strengthening of local governance and community development. In addition to the implementation of development and humanitarian projects, such as the provision of clean water, schools and hospitals, that directly supported people's needs, the U.S. military emphasized the development of greater sociocultural awareness in the conduct of their operations. Although the U.S. and international community scored some success in Afghanistan, most notably in education, health, and women's rights, the achievements were uneven and unsustainable. The fledgling Afghan government was unable to sustain functioning economy, supply internal security, or maintain the rule of law. The reasons for the Taliban's retake of Afghanistan in 2021 are complex and manifold. However, the limited progress in good governance, justice, human rights, and jobs creation, especially in Afghanistan's remote provinces, enabled the Taliban's return. The marriage of high-impact warfighting, development, and human security represents a problematic formulation, even in theory. The practical challenges of integrating human security considerations into activities of soldiers, trained and equipped primarily for high-impact warfighting, are even more daunting. These challenges raise critical questions about the U.S. military's ability to carry out reconstruction efforts on the scale seen in Afghanistan.